Good morning, dear students. Now I am here with the third session of real numbers. In the last session, I have given you one question as a homework. I hope everyone would have solved this. Let us see the sample solution of that question and then we will begin and other questions related to this chapter. The question was find the FCF of 657 and 963. Okay, yeah. Sorry, technical error is here. I'm just beginning again. I'm proceeding the question again. This remainder is taken in this way. 306 is equal to 963 minus 657 into 1, and then 45 is equal to 657 minus 306 into 2, and this 36 is equal to 306 minus 45 into 6. And then this 9 will come over here. 9 is equal to 45 minus 36 into 1. Now, this number, we have to work upon this number by putting the values from here. This 36, we'll just keep the value of 36 from here. 36 is equal to 306 minus 45 into 6 into 1. This 306 into 1. And minus plus, it has become plus 45 into 6. Now what we will do, this 45 can be written as 45 into 1. Again we will just apply the distributive law. 45 is written over here and then 1 plus 6. It has become 45 into 7 minus 306 into 1. This 45 into 7 minus 306 into 1. Now again we will just come to this line. The value of 45 is given over here because we can see that the solution which we have to bring is 657L plus 963M is nowhere related to this number. So again we will just put the values. So value of 45 is written over here, 657 minus 306 into 2. 657 minus 306 into 2, and this 7 is kept over here, minus 306 into 1. We'll just simply solve it. 657 into 7 minus 306, 2 into 7 is 14, and this minus 306 into 1. Now what do we see? That this 306 here and here it is written. So what we will take, minus we will take common, and this 306 14 plus 15, it will become 306 into 15. We have got the first thing, 657, but we could not get right till now 963. So we have to again proceed by putting the value of 306. The value of 306 is 306 963 minus 657 into 1, and into 15 is written over here. Then it becomes minus 963 into 15 and minus plus 657 into 15. So what do we see? That 657 into 7 plus 657 into 15. This has become 7 plus 15 is 22. So this has become 657 into 22 minus 963 into 15. They are asking us the value of L and M. And here instead of minus, it is written over here plus. So very easily we can just write here that the value of L will be 22 and M will be minus 15, because this can be written as minus 963 into minus 15. I hope everyone would have got this solution, and you have to practice more questions so that you may be comfortable with this type of question. Now proceeding to the some questions related to this chapter. Very important question related to theorem 1.3. Let P be a prime number. If P divides A square, then P divides A, where A is a positive integer. Now this, the question is, prove that root 2 is an irrational number. So what do we do over here is, first of all, we can prove it by contradictory method. And this contradiction method, in this contradiction method, we have to suppose that it is a rational number. Then we will just see that our assumptions are wrong and everything, and then we will prove it as an irrational number. So first of all, what we will assume, that root 2 is a rational number. And we know the definition of rational number, that it can be expressed in the form of a by b, where a upon b are co-prime positive integer and b is not equal to 0. This is all the definition which we have studied earlier. Now, according to the definition, we will keep the question and that form, that we will keep this question root 2 is equal to a by b. Root 2 is rational number we have assumed, so we have put here root 2 is equal to a by b, and then we have done the square on both the sides. Then root 2 will become, root 2 into root 2 is 2, and a square upon b square, which implies this b square will come over here. This 2 it can be written in this way, and cross multiplication, so it can be written here 2b square is equal to a square. This is our first equation. Now one more thing, when here we can write 2b square, this can be written as b square is equal to a square upon 2. Means this 2 is dividing a square, 2 divides a square, so we can write 2 divides a also, what is written over here. If p divides a square, then p divides a. So any number, suppose we are writing over here any number, let us say that 16 is there. So 16 means 4 square. 4 square upon 2 means 4 into 4. So if this will divide with this, then the other number a into a will also divide. So if a into a will divide by 2, then a also will divide by 2. So this logic was written over here. Now we will put the, now let a is equal to 2c. We will just assume that let a is equal to 2c. Then what we will do? Putting a is equal to 2c, what we will write over here, just we will see here that instead of a, here and the question in this is all we have to put in first equation. First equation is 2b square is equal to a square. We will put in first equation. So 2b square is equals to a square means 2c square means it will become 2c whole square will become 4c square. So 2b square is equal to 4c square. We can cut here, 2 2s are 4, so it has become b square is equal to 2c square. The same thing again, we can write over here b square upon 2 is equal to c square. So we can write the same thing over here. B, it means b square is divided by 2, so b is also divided by 2. So what common thing we have seen over here, that this b is also divided by 2 and a is also divided by 2. This line has lot of importance, that we have written over here that a square upon 2 and here b square upon 2. So both have the common factor as 2. 2 is the common factor of both a and b. This line and the definition, what does it say? That a and b are co-prime positive integers. So co-prime means whose HCF is 1. What is co-prime? Co-prime means whose common factor is 1 or HCF is 1. Prove the same similar type of questions are there that prove that 3 plus 2 root 5 is irrational number. In that, what we can do is that we can take that let a by b is a rational number where a and b are co-prime. Then what do? That we will simply take that 3 plus 2 root 5 is equal to a by b, and then 3 plus 2 root 5 is a by b, and we will write over here 3 plus 2 root 5 is a by b, and then this 2 root 5 will be brought over here a by b minus 3. Then this again, what will we do over here? We can just write it 2 root 5 is equal to a minus 3b upon b, and here root 5 is equal to this 2 will come over here a minus 3b upon 2b. So what we can say, this anything which is in this form, a by b form, what is this? We have to write the in the beginning we have to write the same thing, that let a and b be the rational number where a and b are co-prime, and this is said to be a rational number. Why I have given this type of question? Because in this type of question again we need not to prove that root 5 is irrational, because already we have proved that these type of roots numbers are irrational numbers. So now this is irrational, and we know that root 5 is irrational. So what do we say? That we know that root 5 is irrational, and irrational can never be equal to rational number, which contradicts the above fact. So which contradicts the above fact. So our assumption is wrong, and this hence 3 plus 2 root 5 is irrational. This type of question is also seen sometimes in the examination. Similar type of one more question I'll just show you. That one question is that prove that, instead of this we will write that prove that root 2 plus root 3 is irrational. So in this case we have to proceed in the same way. We have to write that let a upon b be the rational number where a and b are co-prime. That line we have to add every time, and then what we have to do is that we will write let a upon b is equal to root 2 plus root 3, and then what we will do over here, this one of the root we will bring over here, then that will become a by b minus root 2 is equal to root 3 square. What will it will become? We will just simply use the identity, that the identity is a square upon b square plus 2 and then 2ab, what it will become, 2 root 2 a upon b, and this is equal to 3. Now what does it become? That this a square upon b square we will bring over here, and then plus 2 and minus 3. This root element we will just take it to the right hand side. 2 root 2 a upon b, and keep it that side. So what has it become? A square upon b square minus 1 is equal to 2 root 2 a upon b. Simply we will just solve it. A square minus b square upon b square is equal to 2 root 2 a upon b. So what we are going to do is everything except leaving this root 2 over here, we will just bring everything on one side. So what it will become? A square minus b square upon b square. This 2 will come downside, a will come here, and simply what it will become? Root 2. So and a square minus b square, this 2 has come to the denominator, b will come to the numerator. So this b will be divided with this. So what do we get? A square minus b square upon 2 AB is equal to 2. This again we can say that this is a rational number. Anything in the form of A by B is a rational number, and rational number can never be equal to irrational number. So same thing we will write here also. Can never be equal to irrational number. So our assumption is wrong, hence so our assumption is wrong, and this root 2 plus root 3 is irrational number. These are some different type of question under this heading, and we can see normally and this type of questions in the examination. Now let us come to the next type of question. It is related to theorem 1.5. Let's read out the theorem 1.5. It is written here, let x be a rational number whose decimal expansion terminates. एक ऐसा रेशनल नंबर मानते हैं जिसका डेसिमल एक्सपेंशन टर्मिनेट करता है, तो वो कैसा होगा जिसका कि देन x कैन बी एक्सप्रेस्ड इन द फॉर्म ऑफ p by q and q where p and q are co-prime, then the prime factorization of q is of the form. This is a theorem in a very simple terms. It can be just understood that any number which has a terminating number where the decimal is denominator is of the form 2 to the power n and 5 to the power m. Only the simple thing we should keep in mind, and that is also why, because 2 into 5 is equal to 10. अगर डिनोमिनेटर में 10 होगा तो ऊपर एलसीएम में ऊपर डेसिमल आ जाएगा, कुछ पॉइंट आ जाएगा और वो टर्मिनेटिंग कहलाएगा. तो हमारा मेन टारगेट होता है कि वी हैव टू सी वेदर 10 is coming or not overall whole. So that is all our main target. Let us see with the help of some example. I've also written over here that any rational number of the form a by b where b has a power of 10. b, or here it is mentioned q, anything is denominator. b means denominator. Has a power 10 will have a terminating decimal. इतनी छोटी सी बात को हमें अपने दिमाग में रखना है. एक दो तीन एग्जाम्पल्स हमने दिए हैं. Let us see. If it is 15 by 4, 15 by 4 can be written as 15 upon 2 square. So 15 upon 2 square is, how can it be written? Our main target is to make in the denominator 10. How will we make? We'll simply just put over in the denominator 5 square, and then we will multiply 5 square in the numerator. Why? Because our main target is to make the denominator 10. So it has become 375 upon 10 square. So simply we got that answer 3.75. There are two more questions. 13 upon 125. Now the same condition is over here. Earlier it was written here 2 to the power 4 and 2 square, but it was not written because why? Because we just assume that 2 square is written. So it can be 5 to the power of 0. And anything we can add on this power. But we cannot, if any other number is written, suppose 7, 9, any other number, then we have to worry. If no number is written, then simply anything to the power of 0 is 1 can be used over here. Simply we can see over here 13 upon 125. This is written as 13 upon 5 cube. Now the same thing here also. We can write 2 to the power 0, and we can add simply 3 powers over here and 3 powers over here. We got the answer 104 upon 10 cube. So we'll put the decimal up after 3 points. Now here question is little bit different. 7 upon 80. Now 7, how will we write? 16 5 is 80, everyone knows. 16 means 2 to the power 4. 2 to the power 4 and 5 means simply we can write 5 to the power 1. So what we have to do, we have to make simply all the powers same. So by adding 3 to it, it will become, both the powers will become same. So here this has become 4, and here this has become 3. So just simply we will multiply 7 into 125 is 875, and we have got over here 10 to the power 4. And after 4 points, 4 numbers, we will just put the decimal, and we have got. So these conditions, um, the above theorem, what it has said, that q is of the form 2 to the power n and 5 to the power m, has satisfied these questions. Now let us look into some more questions related to these all. Theorem 1.6 is just a restatement of theorem 1.5. It is also saying the same thing. Let x is equal to p by q be a rational number such that the prime factorization of q is of the form 2 to the power n, 5 to the power m, where n and m are non-negative integers. Thus x has a decimal expansion which terminates. तो नाउ वील सी सम मोर क्वेश्चंस रिलेटेड टू इट. इस दो क्वेश्चंस लिए हैं हमने, इसमें एक में टर्मिनेटिंग शो कर रहे हैं, एक में नॉन टर्मिनेटिंग. लेट अस सी वन एग्जांपल. आई हैव टेकन 64 अपॉन 455. नाउ 455 and we will solve this 455. what do we get? इसमें 5 and 2 से जाएगा नहीं, 3 से जाएगा नहीं, 3 की डिविजिबिलिटी 5 5 10 प्लस 4 14 जा ही नहीं रही है, तो 5 की डिविजिबिलिटी को ये एक्सेप्ट कर रहा है. तो 5 9 जा 45 and 5 1 जा 5 and then 7 13 जा. So we have got the denominator as 5 into 7 into 13. हमारा ये कह रहा है कि जो डिनोमिनेटर है वो 2 to the power n और 5 to the power m का ही होना चाहिए. तो अब ये चीज, ऐसा अगर कोई नंबर होता जो इससे कट जाता तो हम इसको काट देते, तब तो हो सकता था, लेकिन कट नहीं सकता है. सो we will just simply write, since the denominator is not of the form 2 to the power m, 5 to the power n, hence it has a non-terminating repeating decimal expansion. I hope everyone is getting to what I mean to say and what this theorem states that. Now the next question I am just proceeding, that it is written here 17 upon 8, as earlier I have told you in the last question. 17 upon 2 cube we will write, and instead of this, if nothing is written over here, that means it is 5 to anything to the power 0, and anything to the power of 0 can be simply added. We will just simply add plus 2 over plus 3 over here, and we will simply add, multiply here also 5 cube, and this has become in the form 2 to the power m and 5 to the power n. So we will write that it has a terminating decimal expansion. Now, the similar type of question which is given in our book also, that you will very easily find normally in the examination also, without actually performing, find after how many digits decimal will terminate. So this is a question where children sometimes just simply see over here 2 is written and 6 is written, and just they don't look into the complete question whether it is dividing or not. Simply they will just write after 6 times and this thing. We have to first look into our question properly. 92 is divisible by this number. So what do we get? 4 2s are 8 and 4 3s are 12. So only 2 will remain here and 5 to the power 6 will remain here. So here also we will just simply write. Sometimes they ask you what is our decimal expansion. So what we have to do is we have to bring over here 2 to the power 6, or we can simply write here in denominator maximum power is 6. So number of terminating decimal digits are 6. Here this is 61 upon 80. So 61 upon 80, what does it bring? 16 5 is 80. So highest power is 4. So it will terminate after 4 digits. Now this question is little bit different. 132 upon 2 cube into 5 square into 11. What we will do is, at the first sight, what do we see? That this 11 is there, and we will just sometimes children write that it is non-terminating. But first we have to see whether it divides it with the numerator or not. This 11 and 132 is it can act as a divisor. 11 12 11 1 11, 11 2 22, and this becomes 12. 12 upon 2 cube into 5 square. Now our target is to make it has come in the form 2 to the power m into 2 to the 5 to the power n, and then we will see simply the highest power. Highest power is highest power is 3, and so what we will write? It terminates after 3 places. These questions come under the heading 20, and theorem 1.5 and 1.6, which are normally seen under 1 mark or 2 mark questions. Now I want to discuss different types of questions. Application of SPF and SCF. Sometimes the students have lot of confusion where to put SPF and where to put SCM. So just I want to make something clear regarding this. I have taken two questions. Now, I'm reading out the question. In a seminar, the number of participants in Hindi, English, and mathematics are 60, 84, and 108 respectively. Find the minimum number of rooms required if in each room the same number of participants is to be seated and all of them being in the same subject. So participants in what is given over here, participants respectively means the first is for the first one, second is for the second one, and third is for the third one. So participants in Hindi are 60, participants in English are 84, and participants in maths are 108. And what are they asking us? They are asking us minimum number of rooms. So if the question is giving about the number of participants, we cannot directly find the number of rooms. That's one thing we have to make it clear. First of all, we have to think about the number of participants. And one thing more, students इतने हैं, number of students will always be, यहाँ पर पूछा जा रहा है कि find the minimum number of rooms. यहाँ participants हिंदी, English and mathematics में है, to be seated and all of them being in the same subject. So number of students will always be less than this much. ये बात तो पक्की है. एक रूम में इतनी संख्या से तो कम ही बच्चे होंगे. तो जब कोई नंबर कम होता है गिवन नंबर से, ऐसे समय पे हम हमेशा ध्यान रखने वाली बात है कि वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट दी एचसीएफ. और जब ज्यादा चीज पूछी जा रही है तो हमें एचसीएफ लगाना होता है. तो अब हमारा यहाँ पर 3 नंबर है, तो ये बात हमको समझ में आ गई कि वी हैव टू फाइंड आउट द एचसीएफ. नो वी कैन टेक एनी 2 नंबर. लेट अस टेक 2 numbers over here. So we will find out the HCF of 60 and 84. Now in these type of questions, we are not at all supposed to do it in the Euclid division algorithm form. Our main target is to find out whether we have to solve the question by HCF or LCM, and what actually it is asking, we have to find out the answer. So what will be our answer? 61 are 60, and then what do we get? 24, and then again, then 24 twos are 48, and then what do we get? 12, and 12 twos are 24, and this is our SCF. Now, since we are having 3 numbers, so this 12, again 108 will be divided by 12, and we see that this 12, that 12 nines are 108. So what do we see? That our SCF is 12. So now we will proceed to what is being asked in the question. So what will be our answer? Number of participants in each room, because we cannot write the exactly in our through our solution we cannot find the number of rooms. So we have found out the number of participants in each room is 12. Now what total number of students, what it is? Total number of students is equal to 60 plus 84 plus 108. If you calculate 8 plus 4 12, it becomes 252. Now 252. Now we will just look into our question what is being asked. It is asked that number of each room. Number of rooms it is being asked. Number of rooms will be 252 upon 12. And what do we get? 12 2s are 24 and 1 is remaining. So 24 room, sorry, 12 twos are 24 and 12 ones are 12. So 21 rooms are required. So sometimes children write that number of rooms are 12. We have to first see that what is being asked is whether it is exactly given in the question or we have to find out. So I hope you all have understood this question. Now that little bit different type of question also I am discussing and very commonly seen in the examination. The traffic light at three different roads crossing change after 48 seconds, 72 seconds and 108 seconds. How often will they change simultaneously? अब पहली लाइट 48 सेकेंड्स में चेंज हो रही है, दूसरी लाइट 72 सेकेंड्स में चेंज हो रही है और तीसरी लाइट 108 सेकेंड्स में चेंज हो रही है. अब ये तो पक्की बात है कि जो तीनों लाइट्स हैं वो 108 सेकेंड्स के बाद ही चेंज होंगी और जो नंबर होगा वो इनसे बड़ा ही होगा. जो नंबर हमको चाहिए, हाउ ऑफन विल दे चेंज साइमल्टेनियसली, तो जो साइमल्टेनियसली मतलब जो अब जब दोबारा वो एक साथ चेंज होंगी तो वो नंबर चाहिए, तो वो नंबर इससे बड़ा ही होगा. तो ऐसा नंबर जब हमको बड़ा चाहिए तो हमें क्या, हमने आपको बताया है कि हमें क्या निकालना होता है, एलसीएम. तो सिंपली एक हमारे लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज यही होती है कि हमें ये पता लगाना कि हमें क्या निकालना है. तो वी रिक्वायर द टाइम व्हेन दे विल चेंज साइमल्टेनियसली इज आवर एलसीएम. So we will find LCM. हमें एग्जाम में नंबर इस चीज के मिलते हैं कि हमें ये पता लगाने के कि हमें क्या निकालना. LCM ऑफ 48, 72 and 108. So I hope everyone knows how to find out the LCM. I'm just finding it out through long division method. 224s are 236 and 254s are and 212s are 218s are and 227s are 26s are 29s are, and you know very well that this is simply kept over here, and then it is 2 3s are and 27, and then this will be 3 1s are 3 3s are and 3 9s are. So what it has become, again we will do it by 3 3 1, and then it will be LCM will be 2 1 2 3 4. LCM will be 2 to the power 4 and into 3 to the power 6. Now they are asking how often will they change simultaneously. So first of all we will just calculate. 2 to the power 4 is 16, 3 to the power 9 is 27. So what it will become after calculating, what do we find, that it is 432 seconds. 6 7s are 42. This 432 seconds. Now what we will do, we'll just because they are asking the time. So just to take out the time, we have to convert it and we'll just divide it by 432 by 60. Now what is 6 7s are 42. 12 is remaining here. So what it has become, how we will write over here, 7 12 by 60. 7 12 by 60. If we'll just go through so what it will become, 7 hours this so we can write here 7 hours and 7 this, and simply what it is asking, we can write, we can simply write the answer this, or we can just calculate it in hours or minutes. This is all what we have to do it in this type of questions. Now just coming to little bit different type of questions. What is the LCM of smallest two-digit composite number and the smallest composite number? So everyone knows that 2 is the smallest even prime number. So sometimes children make the mistake writing 2 as a composite number. 2, remember that 2 is 1 is neither prime nor composite, and 2 is the smallest even prime number. So our smallest composite number is 4. And then the two digit 4, 6, 8 and 10. And the two digit composite first smallest number will be 10. So what we have to do is simply we will write here smallest composite number is 4 and two digit composite number is 10, and finding out when it is written over here exactly LCM. So what we have to do is we will find out the LCM. 2 2s are 4 and 2 5s are 10. So LCM will be 2 into 2 into 5 it will be 20. Now the next question. These type of questions also frequently occur in our examination. Check whether 15 to the power of n can end with the digit 0. Any number, if a digit, remember this very nicely, that if a digit ends with with 0, it has to be divisible by 2 and 5. Why 2 and 5? Because 2 5s are 10. But 15 to the power, 15 can be factorized into 3 into 5. 3 into 5 to the power of n, where 5 is there but 2 is not there. So it does not include 2 as a prime factor. So 15n cannot end with the digit 0. Simply this type of question, any number we can write. Sometimes it is 4n, it is having 2, or 6n. Many questions of different types it is given under this heading. Now one more type of question is being asked. Explain why this type of question is given are composite number. So first our target is to just bring it under one bracket. We'll see any two numbers are common under this addition. This is one complete term and this is another term. In two terms, what do we see? That this 5 is common. So I have taken 5 common, and rest of the things I have put in this, and here this 1 was there. And we will calculate this, and what do we get after calculating? We get 1008, and this plus 1, it becomes 5 into 1009, and which you can see that it is a product of 9. Sometimes children say that it can be said that composite number has two or more numbers. It is also a composite number, and here this according to fundamental theorem of arithmetic, also we can say that every composite number can be expressed as a product of prime. So in by this way also we can write that this is the given number is a composite number. Given number is composite number. So similar type of questions you can solve and get yourself practice, children. Before finishing that this session, I just want to give you some questions, and I will just discuss also some questions with you. This was the question which has been taught to you, that you prove that root 3 is irrational. I have just simply taught to you that root 2 is irrational. In the similar manner, you will do it this one. And this also 5 minus root 3 is irrational. 5 minus root 3 is irrational. The same way you will just take it root 3 in the right hand side, and you can proceed. And the similar type of question has been taught to you. In the second session, I have taught this type of question to you. Use Euclid division lemma to show that the square of any positive integer is either of the form 3m or 3m plus 1 for some integer m. This type of question I have taught, but here this square is given and we have to simply take b as 3 because no other number can be taken. If it was 9, we could have taken b as 3, but now we have to take here b is equal to 3. Now the next question is, has the rational number 441 upon 2 square 5 to the power 7 square is a terminating or a non-terminating decimal expansion? You can very well see that this number has 7 with this denominator, and this 7 is not divisible with 441. So what we will write here? We have to first see that it is divisible or not divisible. Just see whether it is divisible or not divisible. 7 6 are 42. And what do you get? 2. 7 3s are 21. So you need not to write at first sight that this is simply, normally what do the students do? 7 is not divisible, so it is not terminating. But no, first we have to check and then see that whether it is terminating or non-terminating. Mind it, it is very important. Normally examination questions are given little bit confusing. This is a question of very simply you know the values of root 2 and root 3, and just simply you can write any rational number between. A very simple question. Now find the HCF of 1260 and 7344. This type of question I have given so many questions to you, and I hope that you could be very easily able to solve it. Now, this question was given to you, told to you in the last session. HCF of two numbers A and B is 5 and their LCM is 200. Find the product of AB. What do you know? You know the golden rule what was taught to you. HCF into LCM is equal to product of the two numbers. So, you will simply solve it in this way. A into B is equal to 200 into 5 and you will get 1000. Now again I have given you a simple question. What is the HCF of smallest prime number and the smallest composite number? Again, just to make yourself confused, what is smallest prime number? Right now I have told you smallest prime number is 2 and smallest composite number is 4. Here I'm just doing it on the top. Smallest prime number equal to 2 and smallest composite number is equal to 4. So what will be the HCF? HCF has the, we can just further 2 square. HCF takes the smallest powers. So HCF will be 2. It is very simple, but sometimes children get confused and they don't write the